Fordham's hard-hitting Rams meet Tulane head-on at the Polo Grounds to drive through to victory and avenge defeat of 1939. Jim Noble receives Fred Casabre's punt on the 19. He plows down the field. Jim makes for the sidelines like a scared rabbit. The Rams' interference is perfect, and the 162-pound back races 81 yards to a touchdown. And that's the highlight of a top-notch game. In another of the season's upsets, Old Eli takes the worst beating in its history. Penn's ball. Ed Allen heaves a high one. Whiteman intercepts for Eli, and Yale struggles to save a goose egg. Yale comes through with a play to write home about. Harrison pegs the ball to Bartholomew, who takes it on the 45 and races madly down the home stretch. Johnny Dutcher races up with a threat, but Al lets go a lateral to Bell, who goes over the top for Eli. Now it's Whiteman's turn. He wheels and lets go another aerial, but Bittler spears it and weaves his merry way through the Yale tacklers. It's nip and tuck before he's really nipped. It's a spinner. Rainwater to Regan, and another touchdown for Penn's tally sheet. The great Tom Harmon in action. Galloping Ghost of 1940 takes the ball around end for a gain and a slide. Again the Wolverines attack. This time Harmon fires to Evashevsky in the end zone, and Michigan leads 6-0. It's Gopher's ball. Bruce Smith starts for the side on a spinner, cuts through left tackle, starts through the Wolverine line and heads for pay dirt. 80 yards through the mud for a touchdown and a Gopher victory. The Panthers and Tartan stage a razzle-dazzle contest. Johnny Ross is carrying the ball, and can he go? It's a first down. Now it's through the line. Ross carrying the pigskin. He fumbles, and Bob Church recovers for Tech. Pitt's ball, and George Crackham pounds through for a first down. The Tartans are after him, but he reaches Tech's 23 before he stops. And here's the only score of the game. Eddie Jones goes around end for a thrilling Pitt victory. The Fighting Cadets hold Irish to a surprisingly low score in a bitter battle of brains and brawn. 80,000 partisans crowd the stands at Yankee Stadium and see Army display amazing power to hold Notre Dame to one touchdown. Now it's Irish turn to fire. Sagaw starts around end like a streak of lightning. Look out there! That was something not on the program. Notre Dame tries a forward. Sagaw heaves a high one, but Mazur intercepts. Still Army's ball. Mazur fires, but Juswick spears it and heads for home. Mazur makes a stab that's almost good. Another block by Bill Gillis, but Steve's on his way to an 80-yard run that scored. Long runs and hot passes feature the Wildcats' clawing attack on the Wolverines. 75,000 fans cheer All-American Tommy Harmon as he slips around end. There he goes, number 98. He's as slippery as an eel. Too bad they call this one back, but the game is young. Northwestern's ball. It's a punt from behind the goal line. It goes to Lockhart, who runs it back all the way to the 5-yard stripe. From the 1-yard line, Westfall charges through, and is it good? Yes, sir, a touchdown by inches. Wildcats take to the air. Bill DeCoravant lets fly a 26-yard heave to Bob Mottle, who sprints down the field for a touchdown. Harmon fakes. Westfall takes the pigskin over again for a 20-13 victory. Traditional rivals again meet in the sports arena. Nickel drops back to pass. It's a forward to Captain Joe Gardella. He's on his way. Seymour and Mosley charge in, but Joe leaps over the line. Harvard's ball, and here's another threat. It's complete to Joe Kaufman. Later, with Yale in possession, Seymour punts. Lee's under it for the run back. Harvard blocks take out the Yale men one by one. Down the field he goes like a racehorse. 80 yards to a touchdown, and a great Crimson victory that Yale won't forget. All the wild-eyed thrills of football are crammed into this single game at Fenway Park when both teams, as yet undefeated, fight to the limit. Boston's O'Rourke is the center of attraction right now. Watch that Georgetown team work. A triple pass. Koslap to Gekas to Joe McFadden, and no wonder these lads are unbeaten. Joe goes over, and it's a touchdown. Now Boston gets to work. Looks like a baseball game. O'Rourke to Maznicki to Zabilski, and it's good for a first down. O'Rourke is back again and shoots a perfect pass to Maznicki, who tears up the sod in the direction of the goal line. He makes it, and Boston leads 19-16. Fourth down coming up, and here's a bit of clever strategy. With 1 minute to go, O'Rourke in kick formation runs back over the goal line and wastes valuable seconds dodging Georgetown tacklers. Lou Falcon gets him, but O'Rourke saves the game 19-18. Navy Blue and Army Gray meet at the 50th anniversary of the traditional contest. And here's one of the great plays of the game. Hatch fades for a forward. Blackman intercepts for Navy, and the hefty tackle is on his way, but he fumbles, and Army recovers. Navy's ball, and Clark pounds the line with Mazur and Mesereau right after him. Clark again. He fades and lets go to Malcolm. That clinches the day for the Navy, 14-0, and are the middies happy? Here are the official Cornell-Dartmouth films of a game that made football history. These films have the answer and prove a referee's mistake that reversed the Cornell claim of victory. Score Dartmouth 3, Cornell 0. 1 minute to go. Now what? First down on Dartmouth's 6-yard line. Landsberg, the Husky fullback, charges through the line for 3 yards. Cornell is out to maintain its unblemished record. Second down. Scholl drives through and is met by a strong defense, but gains 2 yards on the plunge. Dartmouth fans yell themselves hoarse. Hold that line. Third down. A yard to go. Landsberg again hits the line, but this time no gain. Penalty of 5 yards for Cornell for excessive timeout. The ball is placed on the 6. A few seconds left. Fourth down. Scholl runs to the right. A ball game hangs in the balance. He leaps in the air and fires to Murphy in the end zone. Ray Hall knocks it down. Is it Dartmouth's ball, or is it? There's a huddle and shouted protest from Lou Young, but Frizzell allows another down. Dartmouth can't believe what's happening. 3 seconds left, and here's the unheard-of 5th down. Scholl attempts the same play. Over to the right, trying to spot his man, and this time Murphy grabs it for a touchdown. Cornell 7, Dartmouth 3. But these pictures tell the real facts, and 48 hours later, Cornell admits defeat for it.
The Rams meet the Mustangs, and Steve Filipowicz tops Fordham's smashing aerial attack with a mighty pass to Jim Noble. And there's Maley right on the job for the tackle. It's a fake spin, and Filipowicz again heaves, this time to Joe Andrecco, speedy back for the Rams. Up comes a regiment of interference, and out go the Mustangs as Joe pounds the sod heading for home. The Mustang's ball. Maley fades to his right and lets fly a pass that Simpson spears and races to the end zone to make it 7-all. With the score tied, Filipowicz gets off a spearhead pass to Blumenstock that wraps it up for the lads from Fordham. Gazer Stadium is packed with howling rooters and some very pretty Oriental girls as St. Mary's 11 meets Duquesne's boys from Pittsburgh. In the third period, Shadonic of Duquesne completes a forward to Squires and opens the way for the game's only touchdown. The Duke's ball, it goes to Gonda on a fake reverse. There's a gap in the Gales line, and George roars through, 37 yards to the end zone. Jimmy McPartland boots it to Shadonic. He takes it on the 2 and races back to the 42 before he's captured. Again in the third quarter, Duquesne comes through. This time, Rokiski kicks a field goal from the 32-yard line, and St. Mary's goes down fighting 9-0. Yale gets away to a sensational start with a 69-yard march down the field before a cheering crowd of 35,000. There's a burst of premature delight from the Eli fans as Harrison takes a forward over right tackle on the 9 and goes over for a touchdown, and Yale leads 6-0. The Tigers ball, 2 minutes to go in the half as Perina passes to Captain Bob Peters, and Princeton is back in the ball game. Peters fades, then pounds through, and it's a Nassau touchdown. The third period finds old Eli hitting back hard. Harrison, slippery as an eel, smashes through tackle. He's in the clear, but not for long, as here comes that Peters lad to stop the run inches short of a Yale touchdown. Later in the game, 35 yards out, Peters takes it around right end, and there he goes down the sidelines. What a man, and it's another tally for Princeton. Again, Perina passes. A long one right to the goal line with Peters on the receiving end, and that's all there is. Princeton 20, Yale 6. Gophers meet Wildcats in the Big Ten's traditional classic before the largest crowd ever to assemble in Memorial Stadium. Gophers ball, a punt by Bill Garnass way down the field. Graham grabs it, but it's a fumble and a roly-poly. And Kepford, a reserve back, recovers for the Wildcats and races back for 20 yards. The Wildcats on the Gophers 32. Graham tosses a perfect pass to Bob Hass for a touchdown, and Northwestern leads 7-2. And here's the play they're still talking about. Bierman's Gophers fool the Wildcats and the cameraman. With a quick line-up and before Northwestern is set, Bud Higgins gets into the clear and streaks down the sidelines to win the game. Final score 8-7 and a close shave for the Gophers. A lion-tiger fight to the finish. Columbia's Paul Governale runs wide around the Princeton end. The ball gets in the clear, and it's a scramble. The Lions are hungry this afternoon. Phil Bayer takes it through the Tiger defense for a 33-yard gain. Governale again. He's on the loose and pounds his way to pay dirt. Columbia's ball, Governale still going strong. He hits the Tiger line. He's trapped, but he gets away for a 25-yard advance. Then Bayer gets going again. This time a sweep down the center for a Lion feast, 21-0. Duke's Blue Devils meet the Georgia Tech Engineers. It's Tech's ball, and Bobby Sheldon lugs the mail for a swell game. Leading 7-0, the Dukes begin a terrific third-quarter march with a smash through center. This time, Davis holds the reins. He spots Gant, and the Duke team rings up another touchdown. But the Engineers are still in the battle. Sheldon fakes. It's the Statue of Liberty play with Dave Eldridge taking it around end, but this is not Tex Day. One of the biggest crowds of the season see the midshipmen meet the Irish in a nip-and-tuck battle that has everything. Busick, Navy's Barnacle Bill, tosses a long one. But Evans spears it and starts a mad dash down the field for Notre Dame. Navy tacklers bombard him, but he shakes them off and chalks up a heavy gain before they finally track him down. It's Notre Dame's ball. Bertelli sets up the first score with a beautiful 41-yard pass to Bill Early, and off he goes down the field to the 2-yard line. Evans charges through center, and the Irish score. Now it's Navy's ball. Clark's dropping back to pass. He spots his man and lets go a hard high one. Now watch that pigskin travel. Bob Zeller is waiting on the spot. He takes it, and the Navy stands go wide. In the third period, with the score 13-7 in favor of the Irish, Bertelli fades and passes. Off it goes, right into the hands of the middies, Alan Cameron, who races 32 yards to pay dirt to tie the score at 13-all. Final quarter, and the Irish have their dander up. Evans explodes through Navy's line, and there it is. The Irish win 20-13, and the middies are in a fall. The biggest crowd in Harvard Stadium, 55,000, see Harvard set back Yale in a plunging game packed with thrills. Don McNichol takes it through the Yale line like a rocket. McNichol again. He streaks through tackle, evades the Eli players, and is stopped 1 foot from the goal line. This lad McNichol stages another running attack that spins old Eli's men right back on their heels. With the score 7-0 in Harvard's favor, Lee shoots a forward to Don Forte, who grabs the ball for a perfect catch. It's Army's ball, and Major gets off a long one right into the hands of Kelleher on the 15, and the West Pointers are within striking distance. A yard to go, and Jim Watkins makes it 6-0 for the Army. Second half, and Navy's Howie Clark was into action. He gets off a pass. It's complete to Zeller, now watching. He laterals to Bob Woods, and it's good for 30 yards. Barnacle Bill Busick gets the ball and sweeps around end like a demon. He chalks up 15 yards before he stopped on the 2. Clark back to pass, looks for a receiver, decides to lug it himself. Reversing his field, he streaks to the left and makes it Navy 14, Army 6. What's the matter, buddy? Want to join the Navy?
Gilmore Stadium is packed to capacity, and it's the first half Lions ball. Pacevic hurls a perfect pass to Sains. It's good for 38 yards. Loyola's ball. Sains hurls a forward but fails to reach his man. Baruti intercepts and is downed on the 18-yard line. Again, the Lions try to crush the heavier Gale. Sains is out to receive a punt return. He fumbles but recovers, and the Lions hope soar. Later in the half, Gonzalo Morales of the Gales heaves a pass. It goes to Jack Baruti. It's good for a 35-yard gain. Now Campagno tries to go through, but is caught for a loss. But the Gales win 13-0. The Fighting Irish meet the Badgers in a... Score 0-0, third quarter. Wisconsin's handy Andy Elroy Hirsch cuts loose for a 35-yard sprint for a Badger touchdown. Wisconsin leads 7-0 when Mello and Livingston carry Notre Dame's attack to Wisconsin's 30-yard line. Notre Dame pounds the Badger line. Now Mello plunges through from the 2 to even up the score. Fenway Park is jammed as the Boston Eagles run, block, and tackle with a fierceness that leaves the hapless Rams stunned and helpless. Bob Mangine romps through the Fordham line. Rams 11. Connolly, hard-hitting Eagle fullback, pounds his way through tackle to the Fordham 3. Holoback charges and goes over for a touchdown. Boston on the rampage. Third period. Connolly tosses to Curavan, who takes it for a long run home. Eagles win 56-6. Fordham's worst defeat in 29 years. They meet again, the Wolverines and the Wildcats. Paul White is back for a Michigan pass. It's complete to Madar, but the Wildcats stop him in his tracks. Wolverines ball. Bob Weissy plows through to the 3-yard stripe. Again, the top-flight fullback plunges through the line for a Michigan touchdown. Wildcats take to the air. Otto Graham finds his receiver, tosses, and Charlie Warren takes the ball. He's downed on the 19. Now watch Michigan. It's a fake kick. The ball is slipped to Paul White, and he's around the end for 20 yards. This time, Kuzma is elected. He's off to the right. Spots his man and fires. Bodik intercepts, but it's a fumble. Madar dives in, and Michigan recovers. What a day for Michigan. Out they go for another goal. Weissy to White, and there goes the ball game with the Wildcats still showing their claws. Alabama's Grid Titans face Georgia's Bulldogs. Bama's ball. Russell Kraft, number 18, crashes through center. Sinkwich makes a stab, but the crafty Kraft is heading for home. So near and yet so far. Final period. Bulldogs trail 10-0. Sinkwich starts the fracas, and it's a Georgia razzle-dazzle. Now Frankie makes a mighty heave. Right for the goal line, and Pashner scores. Alabama's ball. Mosley fakes, races to the right. Al Sabo is in there blocking, but Mosley is stopped, and they all pile up. Out of it comes Georgia's Andy Dudish racing for pay dirt, and another Georgia touchdown. The Minnesota Gophers face Pittsburgh's growling Panthers. Gophers kick to DiMatteo. He's right under it. Now keep your eyes on Tony. He charges right through the center of the Minnesota team. He's in the clear and on his way to the goal stripe. 98 yards for a touchdown. Minnesota goes into action. Big Bill Daly drives through the Panther line. There he goes, ripping his way through a massive interference, and over he goes for the tally. Again, the Gophers show their power. A reverse Blitzky to Fricky. Fricky off tackle for 25 yards. There's Daly going around right end. What a man! Big Bill is all-American timber. Looks like a track meet. Gopher strategy. A fake lateral, and Sandberg gets through. There's a flip to Joe Silovich, and Joe plows through the Panther secondary like greased lightning. Don't get sore, Joe. It's all in the game. A big score for a big team. Gophers win 50-7. $72,000 rain-soaked fans see a rip-snorting gridiron thriller. Ohio State's Gene Feckerty sprints around left end and brings up a first down. Paul Seringhouse looks to the right, gets set for a pitch. He leaps and lets go. Bob Shaw takes it on the 35, shakes off tacklers and does a toe dance down the sideline to an Ohio touchdown. Michigan on the short end of a 14-0 score uncorks some powerhouse plays. They fight every inch of the way. Weissy takes the attack and drives through for Michigan's only tally. Fourth quarter, Ohio's ball. A pass from Seringhouse to Horvath spells finish for the Wolves. The Bucks win 21-7. Harvard meets the Eli-Yale Bulldogs before 24,000. With a half minute to play in the first half, Harvard's Bob Fisher boots an 18-yard field goal. Crimson leads 3-0. Midway in the third quarter, Harvard's Don Richards runs into hard luck. He recovers a Yale punt, starts out from his own 36-yard line, keeps going down the sidelines on one of the most exciting plays of the day. But an offside penalty nullifies his great run, and the touchdown counts for naught. What a break! Again, Richards meets Dame Fortune's daughter. He drops the Yale punt, but the Elis recover on their own 41-yard line. Now the Bulldog starts to growl. It's the last 5 minutes of play. Knowlton fires a forward to Hoops, who races from Harvard's 44 to a touchdown. And the Bulldog holds the Big Three title in its teeth. Only 15,000 here and no West Point cheering section, but the Mascots are always on hand. Army's ball. Ed Kenna fades for a pass, looks for his man. Navy linesmen close in, so he elects to run. The Army team is supposed to outclass the Navy, but they haven't done it yet. Army in trouble, punts from the end zone. Navy's Gordon Studer takes it for the return, and Army is right in there waiting for their man. First-year man Joe Sullivan plunges from the 6-inch line to score. Army takes to the air. Hank Mazer the Great on the passing end. But Navy's Hume is on the receiving end, and there he goes. Hamburg passes to Ben Martin, one plebe to another, upsetting the expert's prophecy. He scores, and the Army isn't there to see the Navy cheer or leer. Navy meets Penn in a real thriller. Hamburg, Navy back, gets set, aims, and fires right down the middle and into the hands of Al Channel. Hamburg tries a nifty aerial. But out of nowhere comes Bob Odell, who intercepts and starts out on a terrific 40-yard run for a Penn touchdown. Now Penn's Joe Michaels punts to Navy's 40. Hamburg takes it, and here's a run with all the razzle-dazzle of a red-hot ball game. It's Navy all the way from... He beats the Quakers 24-7. Army trounces the Wildcats. Wildcats ball. Tony Zemlinski heaves a mighty pass. Army's Glenn Davis intercepts. This 19-year-old plebe thrills the stands with a sensational 45-yard run back. Army's ball, T formation. And it's Davis again. This time around the Wildcats end for a cadet tally. Now quarterback Tom Lombardo pounds his lines with interference threatening on all sides. He picks up 30 yards before Villanova's Al Postis catches up and knocks him out of bounds on the 1-yard line. The Army fires its biggest gun. Lombardo again. This time he aerials to Carl Anderson for another touchdown, and West Point wins 27-0. A throng of 82,000 witnessed one of the most thrilling games of the season. Kelly, who jumped from the Fighting Irish to the Fighting Marines, aerials to Miller, and it's complete. He streaks down the sidelines past the Navy's big guns. Navy fires twice, but he steams ahead. Nearing the goal, Miller cuts to half speed and is hit from behind, but he crash dives for a Notre Dame touchdown. There's that man, Bertelli. He punts for the Irish, deep into his own territory with everybody on the run. Navy's Hillis Hume is on the receiving end and runs right into trouble. Now the middies strike again, this time through the air. Hal Hamburg sights his men and fires into the shadows around the Irish goal. Bill Barron takes it for a Navy score. Here's Bertelli's 10th touchdown pass for the season and his farewell appearance as the Irish win 33-6. Minnesota's ball. Bill Garnett's mighty toe boots into Wolverine territory. It's taken by Bill Daly, former Minnesota star, transferred by the Navy to Michigan. Bill runs it back 35 yards, but just as he breaks into the open, he trips and hits the dirt. It's a fake reverse, and there goes Leatherneck Hirsch slashing through tackle, heading for home, and another Michigan score. The Gophers fight back. Geist aerials, and for a moment it looks good. But Michigan's Bob Derleth intercepts and counterattacks for 30 yards. A smashing game and a great win for the Wolverines. With most of the Purdue Boilermakers signed up as Marine trainees, it's a Navy show either way it goes. Purdue kicks off, and the pigskin sails through the air, right down into the hands of Dewey Proctor, number 38, who runs it back for the Great Lakes Blue Jackets. Ray Jones, former Texas star, sends Steve Juswick pounding for pay dirt, and the stands go wild. Purdue's hard-hitting Butkovich tears through the Great Lakes line like a bullet. Purdue wins 23-13, but at that, it's a great day for the Navy. A gala day for the Bulldogs. Eli's ball. Ray Scussel, 160 pounds of dynamite, blasts one to Jack Carey, who drives hard for a first down before the Tigers send him crashing. Rain thins out the crowd that sees Yale held scoreless until the second period. Now Scussel aerials to Paul Walker. He breaks out of a Tiger trap and is down the 2-yard line. Let it rain, yells Carey as he reverses his field and goes for a first down. There's Scussel again. Of the 128 yards gained by rail rushes, Scussel runs up 119 and scores 3 touchdowns. Now Bob Pickett fires to Scussel, and not a Tiger lays a paw on him. Notre Dame's juggernaut rolls against the white uniformed Northwestern 11. Rykovich takes Otto Graham's punt and powerhouses right through the Wildcat defense to midfield. Now Johnny Lujack calls for the old Statue of Liberty play. He hands the ball to Creighton Miller, who takes it for 20 yards. Northwestern fights hard. Joe Scriba starts the counterattack and chalks up 25 yards before he's captured on the 40. Otto Graham takes to the air. He heaves a long one. Right into the arms of Irish Bob Kelly, and Notre Dame continues its mighty stampede. Now it's Lou Jack to Kelly, who speeds into the end zone. Watch this next one closely. It's a freak play. Dansowitz starts to lateral, but the ball is stolen by Jack Harker, Wildcat substitute, who heads for the goal and Northwestern's only touchdown. Brown Field is packed with cheering fans as the lads from Shenango Valley invade Providence. There's a pass by Savage to O'Brien, who takes it and heads for the goal, but steps out of bounds on the 7-yard line. Colgate's ball. On a fake kick, Muehlhauser gets going. He tears up the turf for a gain of 30 yards. Brown continues its aerial attack. Savage to Tiedemann for a 15-yard advance. Brown's ball. Babcock to Savage for a touchdown for the Bears. Again, Brown's ball. Savage kicks, but it's blocked, and Truman Jenkins falls on it for a touchdown and a win for the Raiders. Army meets Navy on the Cadets' home field. The Midi cheering section is mighty thin, but the Navy goat horn's in just the same. Navy's ball. Jim Pettit on a reverse, just inches short of a first down. George Hume gets going. He crashes through the Army fortress for 15 yards before West Point bombs him down. Third period. Jenkins pilots for Navy and dives across the goal to smokescreen the Army. Now Hal Hamburg pulls one out of the hat. He laterals to Hume, who heads for home. It's Navy's day on Army's ground as Pettit drops anchor over the Army line. But the cadets are good sports and cheer Navy fashion.
This third wartime football season has truly been an Army and Navy affair. As you know, 11 of the first 20 teams of the whole country were service teams. This is the first time in 28 years that the Army team has been unbeaten and untied. They have annexed their first national title, replacing such teams as Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Randolph Field. 23 men from the Army and Navy squads have been mentioned for All-America honors. We will see most of them in action soon. Our highlights start with the first game of the season, Michigan versus our Seahawks. Bill Slater will do the play-by-play. Take it away, Bill.
Thank you, Granny. At Ann Arbor, it's Michigan's ball against Iowa pre-flight. Culligan's pass to Riffenberg fools the pre-flighters, and the Wolverines get the first score of the game. Now pre-flight's ball. On a tricky lateral, Bub Smith gets the pigskin and lopes around left end for 18 yards. After a quick line-up, again Smith around left end. This time, nothing stops him, and he keeps galloping until he scores. With Michigan trailing 7-6, Bill Culligan fades back and gets another long one off to Riffenberg, who scores, and Michigan wins 12-7. The Blue Jackets kick off to the Boilermakers of Purdue. 50,000 jam the Pitt Stadium as Paul Calamere of the Panthers threatens with a long aerial. It's intercepted by Fitzgerald. Those Irish are letting no chances go by them. The Irish take to the clouds with Frank Dansowitz on the heaving end. A bullseye to Bill O'Connor. It's a touchdown parade for the Irish. This is Bob Kelly, an All-America selection, swinging around end. Brother, that's open field running, as the Irish show their early season 1944 speed and scoring power. Notre Dame 58, Pitt nothing. This is 1944's major upset. Before the game, Navy was rated 6 touchdowns better than the pre-flighters. The Middies' ball, Jim Pettit lugging it when he fumbles. Joe Partington scoops it up for the Cloudbusters and races for home with Navy's Joe Sullivan right on his heels, but he can't tag him, and it's 55 yards to a touchdown. Navy tries again. Fumble recovered. Bob Jenkins, nominated for the 1944 All-America team, goes through pre-flight for an 18-yard gain. Joe Sullivan carrying the Middie attack over the beachhead. Touchdown, Navy. Al Hamburg punts for the Navy. Otto Graham, 1943 All-America star of the game, is on the receiving end and running back the kick with 3 minutes left to play and the score tied. He shoots a lateral to Frankie Eschenbrenner, and Frankie races downfield with the winning touchdown. North Carolina pre-flight 21, Navy 14. This game brought together two of the great backs of the year, Manisi of Penn and Davis of Duke. On the first play, it's Sika to Manisi, and it's good for 6 points. Again, Penn takes to the air. This time, Manisi to Hellman, and another score. Then the Blue Devils strike with Tom Davis setting up a scoring play. Here it is. Davis throws for a touchdown, but Pennsylvania wins 18-7. A Yale Bowl crowd at New Haven sees Cornell's Decterbrand fade back apparently for a pass and then get away for a long ground gainer. On the next lineup, it's Decterbrand again, but this time he really means it, and the long pass is gathered in by John Tully, and over he goes. Now Yale's punt soars almost to the red goal line, and Al Decterbrand fumbles. It's swiftly recovered by the Eli's, Roger Barksdale. It's Barksdale again, this time through left tackle, and here comes one for Yale. Yale gathers speed. George Lowe gets one away to his teammate Paul Walker, who collects 11 yards. And Billy Penn completes the upset. Yale 17, Cornell 6. The Seahawks of Iowa pre-flight and Purdue's Boilermakers. In the second quarter, Sullivan of the Seahawks receives a pass and fumbles. Pre-flight Phillips recovers it for a 15-yard gain. Now Samuels of the Seahawks carries. It's a fumble, but pre-flight recover their own ball. McCullough takes the pigskin. Another Seahawk fumble, but this time Purdue gets the ball. Purdue's Schultz throws a 25-yard pass to Demanchev, and it's good. Demanchev goes over for a touchdown. Two plays later, the Seahawks strike back. A pass by Purdue is intercepted by Sullivan. Shifting through Purdue's defense, Sullivan goes over. Pre-flight comes from behind to gain a narrow 7-6 lead. Early in the fourth quarter, a poor punt gives the Seahawks the ball on the Purdue 40. Bus Murdy's carries for a 12-yard gain. Murdy's takes it again, 25 yards for a touchdown. Iowa pre-flight downs Purdue 13-6. Navy backfield ace Hal Hamburg runs as 30,000 Baltimore fans cheer him on. It's Hamburg again. This time he completes a forward to Charlie Guy. Guy fakes a lateral and goes over the Duke goal line, standing up. Yeah, man, that's Navy. Duke threatens as Clark heaves a long one to Austin. For a moment it looks good, but it's all wet, and boy, we're not kidding. Again, the Blue Devils take to the air, but they wind up in the soup. Navy sinks them 7-0.
again we bring you a compendious compilation of pigskin pyrotechnics, or in two-bit words, our annual review of last season's football highlights. Shall we go? Here's a play that gave Tennessee fans one of their big thrills of the day as Buster Stevens carried that thing, bypassing one sun-kissed lad after another. Yes, sir, and good for 32 yards. A lot of wild-eyed customers claimed that this Trojan touchdown pass was caught outside the playing field. Well, as you can see, it wasn't. That pass was plenty good. 'Twas a bad day for Tennessee. Tulsa's Terry Moss fakes a pass and fools the cameraman. But this time it goes to Shedlowski, who, in stride, laterals. Barney White now has it, and it takes him just 5.5 seconds to make Tulsa rooters romp with rapture. And now the top-flight play of the game. Wilson of Tulsa drops the ball. But he recovers, and watch him go right through everybody. Yep, he's on his way. Touchdown bound. No fooling. Another tackler? Ah, but Mr. Wilson is a tricky cookie. It was a titanic triumph for Tulsa. Buckeyes' Les Horvat makes like a pinwheel. A play that helped pile up fancy numbers on the scoreboard for Ohio State. Boy, were those Buckeye babies busy. Sleep on, oh tired, faithful warrior, and when you awaken, you'll have a stiff neck from lying in the wet grass, you dope. The Husky Hoosiers were plenty hot. Hornsmeyer's pass to Armstrong touched off the fireworks in a play that featured one of the spectacular runs of the day. Teamwork helped Armstrong on his way, and it looked like touchdown stuff for sure. But the play was called back for a clipping penalty. Dartmouth's ball. They're fighting hard, but it's a field day at Franklin Field for the mighty Penn. Tony Manisi intercepts for the Quakers, and here's a run that gave Dartmouth dizzy spells. Those Indians just couldn't stop them. Everybody was jumping, even the cameraman. Victory day for Quakertown. Yep, Notre Dame beat Pitt 58-0. Then along came the Army and beat Notre Dame 59-0. Nice going, Army, and now it's Max Miner heading for pay dirt and stopping for no one. This was the first time that Army had beaten the Irish in 14 years. Ohio State's ball carried by freshman Dick Flanagan, and the lad is sensation. Gangway, guys, he's coming through. That kid has fast feet and a busy bean. Yep, look out, partner. That was a 50-yard sprint and a hunk of excitement in anybody's ball game. Now the sailors have the ball, and the customers have goose pimples. Driving through for a stop. Now, mustn't hurt. Put him down. There. Now, play nice. Now the Navy plans an air attack with Jim Ewell chucking the old grapefruit to Chuck Avery. Like that. As Chuck scampers on, a Buckeye player ties his shoelace. See? Thank you, mister. Illinois' track star, Buddy Young, sprints with the ball. Look at this baby travel. "74 yards to a touchdown." Notre Dame's ball, the score is tied, and here's the deciding play. Where is it? There it is, snuggling under the arm of Chick Maggioli for another long ride. This time it's a 65-yard win for the Irish. The score 13-7. A Georgia Tech pass, and now watch George Matthews in some of the best open field running of the year. And there he is, out in front. Why, nobody can stop him, but nobody. So, I'm wrong. Army goes for a kick, and there it is. Who's got it? Duke's got it. No, Army's got it. No, Duke's got it. No, oh, pooh. The Army's on a rampage as Dale Hall is helped by a swell block. Ouch. Yep, it's the merry-go-round for dear old Duke. The contest that kept ears of the nation glued to radio loudspeakers. Army's Glenn Davis goes places. Goodness! Look, a gentleman. He helps him up after trying to break his neck. Again, the Army backfield works like a super speedster, sparked by Glenn Davis, the year's high scorer, pouring on the high octane for high honors in high gear and with high disregard for the rubber. Goodbye.
Navy battles Duke. Carver of the Blue Devils punts from his own goal line. The midshipman's Kelly takes the kick. Here in the first quarter on Durham Field, he's off for a 23-yard gain. As Annapolis turns on the power, Kelly takes it for 6 more yards. Jenkins takes over. Before 44,000 fans, he smashes through for 14 yards, placing the ball on Duke's 1-yard line. Now Jenkins plunges over for touchdown number 1. It's Navy 6, Duke nothing. Hornschmeyer passes to Bramlett, and it's complete. 8 yards for an Annapolis team facing one of its toughest rivals until Army. Barron speeds through for a 12-yard gain. The midshipmen complete their 52-yard drive as on the 3rd down, Hornschmeyer races 27 yards toward enemy goalposts. Powerful Navy goes on to win over Duke 21-0.
Notre Dame meets Illinois. Here at South Bend, Jones of the Illini boots the opening kickoff. Ruggiero, Irish back, gets it at Notre Dame's 24. Now watch this. It's the first running play of the game. Bill Colella, making the first play of his college career, has the ball. He's off down the field behind perfect blocking. In one of football's great runs, Colella goes 76 yards to a touchdown. Illinois is beaten in the game's first seconds. Notre Dame makes the extra point and holds on to win 7-0. Alabama's Harry Gilmer passes to Lowell 2 as the Crimson Tide battles the Volunteers of Tennessee. It's 13 yards for Alabama, playing at Birmingham. Hodges picks up another 5 yards. Climaxing a first quarter 50-yard drive, Gilmer fights through for a touchdown. Alabama 6, Tennessee nothing. Two carries for Alabama, leading 13-0 in the second quarter. He fumbles, and it's a wild race for the galloping pigskin. Flowers recovers. The Crimson Tide retains possession. Again, the Tide takes to the air. Gilmer wings one to Grant. The accurate 24-yard pass is good for a touchdown. Alabama now leads unbeaten Tennessee 18-0. Once more, Harry Gilmer passes, but Manning of Tennessee intercepts. In the final quarter, he's off on a 50-yard run. The Volunteers, 18 points behind, fight back. Manning is down on the Crimson Tide 40. Lund throws a long pass to Parton, good for 42 yards. Parton steps over with Tennessee's only score of the game. Tennessee's ball, but Stevenson fumbles. Hodges recovers for Alabama. A penalty against Tennessee places the ball just 2 yards from the goal line. Gilmer goes through to pick up 1 yard, and Hodges takes care of the other. The Crimson Tide sweeps over Tennessee 25-7. Undefeated Purdue meets undefeated Ohio State. DeMoss to the Boilermakers sends down a pass. In the first quarter, Purdue finds itself on the Buckeyes' 4-yard line. A great crowd of 75,000 sees Cody go over for the touchdown. Purdue 6, Ohio State nothing. Again, DeMoss aims the pigskin. His pass to Canfield is complete. With the game just a few minutes old, Purdue scores a second time against the powerful favored Buckeyes. Verdover of Ohio State takes it. He fumbles, and Crow of the Boilermakers recovers on the Buckeyes' 43-yard line. Purdue continues its dazzling offensive as Cody gallops 20 yards to within 3 yards of a touchdown. With 7 minutes of the first half gone by, that amazing aerial team of DeMoss to Canfield does it again. As the game's end nears, Ohio State passes for a touchdown, but it's too late. Purdue scores a stunning upset and wins 35-13. Army meets Notre Dame. At New York's Yankee Stadium, the U.S. Military Academy's Corps of Cadets marches in. The 75,000 fans see the great undefeated Army team kick off for another battle in their 32-year-old rivalry with undefeated Notre Dame. The Irish return the ball to their own 25-yard line. Angsman carries for Notre Dame, and it's a fumble. Jeremiah of the Cadets recovers the pigskin. With the game just 2 minutes old, Army's Glenn Davis is off on a 26-yard run to score standing up. Army 7, Notre Dame nothing. In the second quarter, West Point's Doc Blanchard smashes through. Army's team, one of the mightiest in football history, can't be stopped. Tucker passes to Glenn Davis. 5 enemy tacklers are between Davis and the Notre Dame goal line. But watch this 175-pound back move to that goal line. He's over for Army touchdown number 2. Third quarter. Notre Dame's Radaman passes to McGurk. The Irish fight to score at least once against the Cadets. Again, Radaman passes. But this time, West Point's Doc Blanchard intercepts, and he's off. Army makes it 16 straight by trouncing Notre Dame 48-0. Before 63,000 at Philadelphia's Franklin Field, Penn battles Columbia. Gene Rosides of Columbia's undefeated Lions throws his 4th successful pass. Cusserow takes it to the 6-yard line. Here in the first quarter, the team of Rosides to Cusserow does it again. Columbia takes a 7-0 lead over favored Penn. Now the Quakers swing into action. Bob Evans wings a pass to Sponogle, who gets within 5 yards of the Columbia goal. Another Evans pass, this time to Jenkins, and Penn has 6 to Columbia's 7. Evans hands the ball to Duba, who's off on a 55-yard run to a touchdown. Columbia falls from the ranks of the undefeated as Penn wins 32-7. Here in the third quarter, the fans forget the cold as Michigan fades back to pass. Ohio State's Priday pulls down the pigskin. His interception gives the Buckeyes the ball on their own 42-yard line. Ohio State, last year's Big Ten champion, moves to the attack. Klein smashes through for 6 yards. With Michigan goalpost still a long way off, Doherty of the Buckeyes takes to the air. The ball goes to Watson for a 35-yard gain. With Ohio State in scoring territory, Michigan holds. It's 4th down and 8 yards to go. The Buckeyes try a field goal. It's right between the uprights. Ohio State 3, Michigan nothing. In the fourth quarter, with less than 10 minutes remaining, Michigan's Elliott sends a pass to Fundy. It's good for 25 yards, placing the ball on the Buckeye 19. An Ohio State offside penalty places the ball on the 1. And Fundy takes it over. Michigan tops Ohio State 7-3. Navy kicks off into a raging wind. The ball travels only to the Cadet 25. Army's Arnold Tucker receives the pigskin. The Cadets are off to their customary quick start as Tucker gets down to his own 43. Tucker takes it again. After faking to Blanchard, he swings around right end. For an Army team, judged the nation's best, it's 13 yards more, and they've only begun. Tucker laterals to Glenn Davis. Moving fast, Davis sweeps on for 20 yards. He fumbles, but out of bounds. 2 Navy offside penalties have advanced the ball. Quarterback Tucker decides to advance it some more. He chalks up another first down. Now Army's pile driver comes into play. Slow motion shows the mighty Doc Blanchard in action as he rams over the Navy line. Coach Blake sees his Army team draw first blood. A Navy kick against the wind goes out of bounds on the Middies 37. Army's Tucker takes it from there. The Cadet quarterback, who because of illness almost missed the game, smashes through for 25 yards. There's 17 yards to go, and Blanchard to cover them. Slow motion reveals the details of the Doc's power. Watch the fullback who's rarely stopped as he tramples all opposition. To Navy gridmen who wonder what hit them, the answer is Blanchard. 6 seconds remain. Bruce Smith heaves a long, desperate pass to speedy Clyde Scott. Scott runs the last 40 yards with Army's Glenn Davis at his heels. Davis passes as Army works to assure its 24th victory over Navy. Blanchard can't reach it, but the officials rule interference, and the cadets get the ball on Navy's 32. Another great Army-Navy contest draws to a thrilling close. Glenn Davis dashes to a touchdown. Army wins 32-13.
Right from the opening whistle as Illinois starts off with a bang. Claude Buddy Young sparks it for Illinois and carries the ball half the length of the field for the first score of the season in Pitt Stadium. Now Rykovich gets set. He forwards. It's intercepted by Ciccone, 17-year-old Panther Flash. He races it back 15 yards before he's down. Ciccone again. A short pass, and the Panthers are full speed ahead. 1 yard to go, and the freshman charges over the line to tie it up 7-all at the end of the half. Third quarter, and now the going is tough for the Panthers. They're forced to punt. It's a long one down the field. Illinois sends in Chick Maggioli for this one, and he clicks. A fake crisscross, and there he goes tearing up the turf for 75 yards to wrap up the game for Illinois 33-7. And the 1946 season is off to a thundering start. Way down south in the land of cotton, Georgia meets Alabama and presents Charlie Trippi, the one-man show. He fights off the Alabamans and unscrambles in time to heave a perfect pass. And there's a big chunk of yardage gained before the Crimson tacklers take charge. It's Trippi again. As the Alabama linemen surround him, he tosses to Don Edwards, who grabs it in a swan dive catch. Second period. Trippi, one of the great breakaway backs of the year in fast action. When the Crimson lads threaten, he makes a wide U-turn, and there he goes. Trippi is in the spotlight all day. Off he charges on a 50-yard dash for another touchdown to wrap it up for the Bulldogs, 14-0. With the score 7-0 for Ohio, Tony James flips a Buckeye pass, but Chick Saul steals for the Wildcats. Now Northwestern takes up rushing tactics. Aschenbrenner crashes through for one of the Wildcats' 8 first downs. There goes a pass by Daggett. It's speared by Jack McKenzie's fingertips, and Northwestern rides high. 30 seconds left in the half. Daggett heaves and is taken by Murakowski, who goes over to tie it up 13-all. Northwestern still a threat as Frankie Aschenbrenner forwards. Tony Adamle, Ohio State's great defensive center, intercepts, and he charges deep into Wildcat territory. There's gloom on the Northwestern bench. Now Joe Whistler hurls across for a Buckeye touchdown, and Ohio forges ahead 32-20. Northwestern sends Schwal crashing into the clear. He pounds out 81 yards for a Wildcats tally, but it's not enough as Ohio State wins 39-27 in one of the great games of the season. The Irish and the Hawkeyes. Lou Jack is on the beam. He forwards 32 yards to halfback Terry Brennan, who steps over for a touchdown. It's Lou Jack again, fading for a pass. He lets go a long one to end Leon Hart, who makes a smart catch and a 50-yard game for the Irish. Now Bob Sullivan crashes through right tackle, and they're on the 1-yard line. Another Notre Dame score as fullback Pinelli hurdles over. Now Mello can't hold Lou Jack's hand out, but Johnny is on the spot. He grabs the pigskin and opens the throttle. Full speed ahead for 45 yards and pay dirt. What a man. A
capacity crowd at Braves Field sees the Eagles open up with aerial fireworks. Panciera, number 43, spearheads the attack. It's a 40-yard pass to Mangine, and the Volunteers know they're in a ball game. Panciera's on the battlefront, but the enemy surrounds him. He snakes his way free and heaves to Ed Burns, who tears up the turf to score for the Eagles. Tennessee takes the offensive, and soon the ball is in touchdown territory. Lund, with a blockade of blockers, sweeps around end to tie it up at the end of the third period. Fourth period, and Lund takes a pass. There he goes for a first down. Minutes to go, and Boston fights back. There's a forward that looks good, but wait. Walt Slater intercepts for the Volunteers and stages a 75-yard dash from his own 25-yard line to put the game in the bag for Tennessee. The Webboots meet the Trojans down in Southern California. There's a pass. It's intercepted by the mighty Battle, who bombshells down the field. From the 15, Southern Cal sends Lillywhite driving through the line all the way for a Trojan tally. With Gray in motion, the action is fast as Mickey McCardle flips him a lateral, and he gallops through the enemy line 20 yards before Oregon cuts him down. It's Battle again. He tears through the Webfoot line and into high gear to outrace the Oregon lads to a touchdown and a big win, 43-0. Yale and Harvard clash at Soldiers Field. There's a Harvard pass. It's grabbed by O'Donnell, and the Crimson back smashes into the sideline. For the moment, Yale is stunned as Gannon goes over for Harvard. It's Gannon again, slamming through the Eli line in a terrific Crimson drive. Yale trails 14-0. First passes. Ned Hurney takes it, and it's a jittery moment for Yale as he fumbles the ball. But Jack Roderick recovers, and old Eli cheers. Now the Bulldogs are on their way. An open attack startles Harvard. Ned Hurney's on the receiving end, and he's soon surrounded. Ned Hurney goes through for a touchdown, and Yale wins.
A packed house at West Point. Army's football juggernaut rolls against Columbia. All-America Doc Blanchard sparks the cadets' first touchdown drive, racing to Columbia's 20. A moment later, same man, same play, and it's Blanchard scoring for Army. This time, no Blanchard, but plenty of Glenn Davis, a 14-yard gain. Pausing to catch his breath, Davis passes to ends Tom Hayes, a 17-yard maneuver. Blanchard again answers the call to duty through the middle for 18 yards. Now Big Doc plunges for his second touchdown. The mercurial Glenn Davis takes over where Blanchard leaves off, and after an out-of-this-world fake on Lou Cassero, completes a 66-yard sprint into pay dirt. Back to kick. Davis fumbles on fourth down. There's nothing for him to do but run, as you can see, and brother, does he go, knocking off a quick 35 yards. Paging Mr. Blanchard over for his third TD. Refreshed by the halftime rest, Davis grabs the second half kickoff, shifts into high gear as he streaks down the gridiron for a neat 54-yard run back. Davis and Blanchard, Blanchard and Davis, Davis, Blanchard. And if you think this is getting monotonous, how do you think Columbia feels? This time, no Blanchard, no Davis. It's halfback Rip Rowan, but the result is the same, a 25-yard gain. Andy Gustafson passes to Hank Foldberg, and Army scores again. Columbia's Lions strike back. Lou Cassero cracks through the cadet line, stopped just short of the goal. Yablonsky smacks over for a Columbia touchdown. The Lions now kick off to Army. And who's that waiting for the ball? None other than Lion tamer Doc Blanchard, who starts for the goal line a mere 92 yards away. His cadet teammates clear the way. Doc steps on the gas and roars to his 4th touchdown. Final score, Army 48, Columbia 14. Tony Manisi, brilliant Quaker back passes to end Art Littleton in the end zone for Pennsylvania's first touchdown. Skippy Manisi takes the ball, races wide to his left, cuts down the sideline. Is hit at the 25, stays in bounds, and skips to another Penn touchdown. Navy's Johnny Welch passes in the flat to Pistol Pete Williams, who shakes loose for a 44-yard touchdown run. But it's undefeated Penn's day. They sink Navy 32-19. Austin, Texas, Bobby Lane, heralded University of Texas fullback, shakes loose on a scintillating 73-yard touchdown gallop against the Oklahoma Aggies in Memorial Stadium. The Aggies try a pass. It's intercepted by center Audrey Gill, and Texas is on the march once more. Tom Landry passes to Byron Guillory, and the Longhorns score again. Perry Samuels takes off on a thrilling 60-yard dash, another versatile performer in the powerful Texas constellation of football stars that makes the Longhorns one of the mightiest football machines in the land. Landry scores and Texas wins 54-6. Davis, running to the left, takes a pitch out from Tucker and then thrills the crowd with one of his dazzling open field shows. Eluding 2 tacklers, Davis picks up speed. Another tackler grabs Glenn's sleeve, hangs on desperately, but Davis wriggles loose, takes a long stride, and is over for the score. Tucker and Davis collide. The ball pops into the air. Fullback Rip Rowan grabs the loose pigskin for Army, but not for long. Rowan fumbles too, and in the ensuing free-for-all, Carrington recovers for Navy. The half end shortly thereafter, Army 21, Navy 6. A colorful halftime midshipman maneuver. 4th period, Basinger laterals to Earl, who hits Bramlett for a TD. Army 21, Navy 18. And cadet coach Earl Blake is plenty worried. Navy's Lynn Tuning races 20 yards to a first down on the Army 3. And with just 90 seconds to go, the inspired middies are just 9 feet away from one of the greatest upsets of all time. Tuning smacks the left side. The now aroused cadets hold the line. Tuning tries the right side. Army digs in and stops him cold. Can Navy make it? Hawkins takes the ball, laterals out to Williams, but Army's terrific goal line stand sinks the Navy 21-18 in a hair-raising finish. The excited crowd surges onto the field for a last look at Doc Blanchard and Glenn Davis, 60-minute players in their farewell to football. This is Mel Allen, your official film sports reporter, bringing you the highlights of 1947's major football spectacle. 59,000 frantic fans pack the stands at South Bend as Notre Dame takes the field against Army. Mackmull kicks off for the cadets, and Notre Dame's Terry Brennan takes the ball on the 3-yard line and races for the goal while his teammates clear the way down the field. A sensational 97-yard run puts Brennan over for a touchdown to start the game while Army coach Blake watches ruefully. Notre Dame soon advances again as Johnny Lujak tosses the ball to Leon Hart for a snappy gain of 25 yards. Battling the tough West Point line all the way, Swistowicz fights his way for another 8 yards for the Irish. It's Terry Brennan again, scoring another thrilling touchdown on an off-tackle play. Notre Dame 13, Army nothing. In the 4th quarter, an end run by Army's Bobby Stewart brings the ball to the 4-yard line. Rowan smashes to the 1-yard mark. And then on the next play, it's Rowan again, over for the touchdown. The Army's first against the Leahy-coached Notre Dame team.
Coach Leahy doesn't like it, although Notre Dame is ahead 20-7. And the Irish gallop again. Swistovich cleverly picking off 18 yards around the Army club. Larry Coutre is next to score for the South Benders, smashing off tackle for 11 yards, and Notre Dame's final touchdown in its victory over Army 27-7. A crowd of 50,000 in Dallas watched Southern Methodist make a quick start as Doak Walker passes to Dick McKissick for a gain of 15 yards to the Texans' 2-yard strike. Dashing around end, Paul Page scores the first Mustang touchdown just 3 minutes after the starting whistle. And now SMU calls on Gil Johnson to pitch a long pass. He does. Walker jumps high to take it, then sprints to the 1-yard line for a thrilling 56-yard gain. McKissick then cracks through center for an SMU touchdown. In a drive to even the score, Bobby Lane of Texas tosses a 23-yard pass to Jim Kennedy. Lane's next flip to Guillory is good for a touchdown, but the Texans miss the extra point and SMU wins 14-13. 49,000 jam Princeton's Palmer Stadium to watch Penn beat the Tigers. Evans' 15-yard run gives Penn a first down on Princeton's 8. Tony Manisi, playing a great game, goes over for Penn's first score. This time, Manisi takes the ball to the goal line where Princeton tries to steal it, but the attempted pigskin larceny doesn't work. Now Manisi carries the ball to a touchdown as Princeton tries once more to steal it. Too late. From his 35-yard line, Dick West of Princeton passes to George Sella, who starts running and doesn't stop for 55 yards, scoring Princeton's lone tally of the game. Bob Graham, Penn fullback, now carries the ball, nimbly evading the opposition, running 44 yards goalward when he's stopped by a tackle from behind. Passing for Penn is Bob Evans, whose toss is caught by Don Schneider just 1 yard from Princeton's goal line. Bill Luongo scores. Penn beats Princeton 26-7. Before 42,000 cheering spectators, halfback Harry Zoborski gains 13 yards for Purdue against Notre Dame. Bob DeMoss, Purdue quarterback, throws a short pass to Zoborski for a touchdown, and Purdue ties the score in the first quarter 7-7. But the Irish fight back. Johnny Lujak getting away a fast pass that drops into Larry Coutre's waiting hands for a Notre Dame gain of 32 yards. Dropping back for another pass, Lujak finds his receiver bottled up, so Johnny carries the ball himself. A thrilling 33-yard run to a touchdown, and Notre Dame leads 13-7. It's Purdue's ball. George Papish punts, and the pigskin is taken by Notre Dame's Coy McGee, who runs it back in a thrilling dash that carries him 40 yards. Just watch him go. Floyd Simmons goes over as Notre Dame takes Purdue 22-7. At Baltimore, Maryland, the eyes of 35,000 are on Pettit of Georgia Tech as he hurls a 17-yard pass to Broadnax on the opening play against Navy. Bob McCoy, Tech's rookie halfback, takes the ball and slips around end for a good run. Bob eludes Basinger, sending the midshipmen sprawling into a pond of water, and then romps 50 yards down the field to score a touchdown. And now it's Navy's ball, and Horn makes a neat flip to Al McCulley for an 8-yard advance. Horn passes again, sending a lateral out to Schwerferman, who races straight for the goal line, putting Navy ahead 7-6. In the fourth quarter, Schwerferman takes the ball for Navy and fumbles as Broadnax makes a smashing tackle. Tech recovers on the Navy 35. With only a few minutes to go, Patton's 30-yard forward to Southard clicks, and Tech defeats Navy 16-14. At Columbia's Baker Field, at capacity 35,000, watch Art Fitzgerald's pass to Johnny Satir connect for a Yale first down. Now it's Tech's first, who flips one to Satir for another first down, part of an 83-yard march down the field. On fourth down, Billy Boo kicks a perfect 15-yard field goal, putting the Elis ahead 3-0 at halftime. Columbia's Lou Tusserow tries a desperate long forward pass, but Fitzgerald intercepts it for Yale.
Now the Bulldogs take the offensive. Fuchs carries around end for 15 yards. Bandy Kirk cracks over for Yale. Columbia fights hard as Lou Cussero's aerial makes a perfect landing in Bill Swiacki's arms for a 27-yard gain. Yablonsky climaxes an 80-yard Columbia drive with an exciting 27-yard touchdown run, but Yale upsets the Lions 17-7. An even more sensational upset is in the making when Army meets Columbia. Gustafson of West Point takes the pigskin for a spectacular 28-yard run. Rowan smashes through as powerful Army takes the lead. With Army ahead 14-0, the Lion roars defiance. Rossides' toss to Swiacki is good for 32 yards. Lou Cussero carries the pigskin around end for Columbia's first touchdown. West Pointer Rowan takes the ball through the enemy tacklers just before the first half ends and carries it safely on a brilliantly executed 84-yard journey downfield to a touchdown, giving Army a comfortable 20-7 lead. McMull's failure to convert doesn't worry the cheering cadets at this time. Rossides' aerial to the end zone is received by Bill Swiacki in a phenomenal catch which Army disputes. But here official film shows in stop motion that the pigskin did not touch the ground before Swiacki caught it. And the football rules provide clearly that when an opposition player holds the ball in the end zone, it's a touchdown. Though Army is still ahead 20-14, Columbia fights on gamely. Rossides sprints 21 yards to the 35-yard line. A Columbia touchdown will even the count. A conversion will put them ahead. Time is short. Rossides fakes the pass, throws to Swiacki, who makes another great catch. From the 3-yard line now, Cussero plunges over to tie the score. Jablonski makes that extra point, and Columbia downs Army 21-20 in the greatest upset of the year.
With the tail end of summer too warm for comfort, southpaw Tony Manisi is in there pitching. But this time he fools the Lions and circles end for the Quakers' first score. Now Al Sika fires a pass to Art Littleton, and the Quaker end tears up the turf for 61 yards. Bob Evans is back to pass, but he's ganged up. He runs, stops, passes, and it's intercepted by Columbia's Cussero, who takes off like a jackrabbit and runs it back 61 yards to a touchdown. The Lions' Gene Rossides hides the ball on his hip as he circles left end to sprint 52 yards. Columbia scores as Rossides forwards to Swiacki, but it's Penn's game. The stands are jam-packed to witness a game of spectacular plays starting right after the opening whistle. Harry Gilmer runs back a Georgia punt and cheers the heart of the Bamas, scoring the first touchdown of the ball game. Georgia takes the helm with a second period pass routes to Marisik. He runs into rough going, but a two-man block paves the way, and now Georgia takes heart. Alabama in the spotlight again. Lowell, too, takes off from his own 17, shoots through the middle, and he's Alabama bound. Two snaps the ball to Cadenhead on a lateral, and the underdogs from Alabama win 17-7. It's the 33rd gridiron meeting of these colleges. A long punt by Edelman soars far down the field. It's caught by Michigan's Elliott, and he roars down the turf to chalk up the first score of the game. Illinois goes into action with Steger blazing through center, cutting down the Wolverine defense and piling up a gain of 53 yards. With the first half nearly over, Chaffius heaves one for Michigan. It's taken by Elliott, who scrambles away for a gain of 52 yards. He winds up on the 4, but a penalty brings it back to the 9. And then Pondy crashes through, and it's victory for Michigan. Penn State's Elwood Petchel gets going with a heave to Ray Ulinski, and they're off to a roaring start. Petchel again. And Jeff Dakota takes it for Penn State's first touchdown. Now Syracuse helps the opponent's cause with 4 fumbles. Chekhov recovers this one. Pupil of Syracuse spots his man, but the ball takes a detour. Luther of State snares it, and again Syracuse is in trouble. Rogel again, right through for 7 yards. And then a quick lateral to Paler, who takes it for still another touchdown. $102,000 fans see this contest. Bruins ball. Carl Benton hurls. It's intercepted by Don Dahl, and they both know there's a real fight on the gridiron today. The game's only score. Trojan Jim Powers heaves to Kirby, and the second period ends 6-0. Now the Bruins are mad as bears, and there's a fine tangle of everything in the book. Benton passes, and there's a lateral to Tom Fears. Another lateral, a fumble, and what the fans think is a touchdown, but the referee rules no goal. The Bruins threaten. On a 4th down, Johnson takes a lateral and heaves to the end zone. But Bray intercepts and shatters all their hopes. It's a great day for the Irish. Tulane's Von Meter in action. He heaves a pass. It's intercepted by Terry Brennan, who turns on the steam and runs it back, but veers out of bounds in the shadow of the goal. Now Sitko takes it over for Notre Dame. Blue Jack in action. A pass to the end zone that's perfect. This time Gompers carries the pigskin, and he's off like a battering ram for 40 yards. Price takes it and nails down another for Notre Dame. Tulane fights back. Finley kicks. It's taken by Livingston, and he hits the trail for 70 yards, right down to the 10. Livingston plunges over, and the Irish win their 8th straight. Plenty of action and thrills in the Yale Bowl as Eli Spurse limbers up with a pass to Satir for a nice gain. Now Harvard's Canary answers back with an aerial that floats right into the end zone and into the hands of Moffett. Harvard's Lazaro gets the assignment and picks up yardage, and how. Here in slow motion is a charge through center that chalks up a touchdown, even though he nearly stumbles out of it. Slow motion again with First going around end and over, and the Blues beat the Crimsons 31-21. cheers and college yells, President Truman greets the rival captains and wishes them success. Right off the reel, the Navy's Bill Hawkins forges into Army territory, but fumbles, and when they unravel, it's the Army's Bryant with the ball. Now Army takes to the air. Rowan heaves a bullseye to Bill Kellum, who breaks away for the game's first touchdown. Navy fights back. Horn fires one to Art Markle, and the middies again sail into Army territory. They dash ahead and down to the 11-yard stripe, but the cadets hold. And here's the big thrill of the day. Rip Rowan, the Army's bundle of dynamite, explodes, and through fine blocking, he battles his way into the clear for a 92-yard dash all the way home. It's Army's day all the way, and another chapter in football history. Cadets invade Illinois and bring along a big gun named Bobby Jack Stewart, who packs plenty of ammunition. He's off like a bullet for a 55-yard gain before Illinois trips him. More bombing for the cadets, and this time Winfield Scott gets going on the longest run of the afternoon. With goal in sight, Pierce nudges him out. Illinois is fighting mad. With the score 26-0 against them, Tom Stewart passes to Schmidt. Trouble ahead for the Army. Benoit kicked. And under it is that fleet-footed fellow named Pierce, and he pierces through the West Pointers for plenty of yardage. Trailing by 2 touchdowns, Illinois calls on Kruger. His long heave is taken on the run by Kersoulis, and that's the end of the game. Things happen fast in Athens when Rogers' pass is hauled in by Marisic of Georgia. The fleet-footed halfback pounds the turf for more than 75 yards to a touchdown. With Georgia ahead in the third period, Charlie Justice steps in the picture. He passes to Powell to set up the first Tar Heel touchdown. Now Justice, whose gridiron name is Choo Choo, steams through center for his second touchdown, but not his last. Gary of the Bulldogs kicks. And under it is the Asheville Flash. He streamlines it for the thrill play of the afternoon. That's Justice for you. It's a scoreless tie with only 15 minutes to go when the Gophers come to life and send halfback Everett Faunce down the field on a 68-yard dash that leaves the spectators limp. It's Faunce again, this time passing to Bud Grant. Good for 17 yards. With time running out, Hatch of Washington heaves an aerial. It soars high. Dale Warner of Minnesota's waiting and intercepts. With only a few plays remaining, Dick Lawrence lets go a heave of 40 yards into the arms of Dick Anderson, and the Gophers win 20-0. Midshipmen meet the Irish, and there's plenty of action as Notre Dame's Sitko tears down the field in a 60-yard run. Later, with the middies in possession, Bob Horn aerials. But the Irish intercept, and it's more gloom for the Navy. There goes that Sitko again. He sparks the Notre Dame attacks and reels off 45 yards before the Navy surround him. Navy fights all the way, but runs into stormy seas when Daler intercepts Basinger's aerial. Daler turns on the speed and beats it back 50 yards with some nice blocking by his teammate. Near the end of the game, Frank Spaniel dogs his way goalward, and Notre Dame wins 41-7. Over 68,000 fans crowd Memorial Stadium and cheer themselves hoarse as dazzling Doak Walker totes the ball past the field of Texas Longhorns to chalk up the Mustangs' first touchdown. The Longhorns stage a short but sharp stampede as Capel sets up his team's first and only tally with a big chunk of yardage. Borneman scores deep in the heart of Texas rooters. Texas says never say die as a Mustang pass is intercepted by Pyle, and for a time it looks as if the Longhorns might turn the tide. But fate steps in. Texas fumbles, and Southern Methodist recovers. Now Roberts swings into action for Southern Methodist. The finale comes as Walker passes to Blakely, and Southern Methodist wins 21-6. The Wildcats are up to scratch as Murakowski hits the line for plenty of yardage. Here's a thriller. Quarterback Burson back for a pass. He's trapped. No, he's in the clear. And there it goes, an aerial first class, and a honey of a catch by Tunnicliffe. Buckeyes charge back with Kroll in the spotlight. With fine blocking by his teammates, Kroll keeps on going to the goal line. Now Johnny Miller scores his second touchdown, and the Wildcats win 21-7. When unbeaten gridiron greats clash head-on, something has got to give. Penn State starts the fireworks with a human dynamo named Rogel forging his way through to the goal stripe. The Quakers come close to tying things up, but in the fourth quarter, the Nattani Lions go to town. Elwood Petchel, Penn State's one-man merry-go-round, gets the enemy all mixed up in a razzle-dazzle. Penn State's superior air attack tells. Tamburo carries this Petchel pass, and he almost gets away, but Bednarik stops him on the 13. Another pass, Petchel to Rogel, and it's a shutout victory for Penn State. There's action right from the start at Harvard Stadium as Moffey of the Crimson sets off the fireworks with an 80-yard run from scrimmage. Now Levi Jackson of Yale goes for first down, and the Elis are jubilant. Tex first, Eli Quarter uncorks the long one. It's taken by Satir and a beautiful catch. It's 7-6 for Yale when Crimson takes over. Behind the wave of blockers, Charlie Roche goes for 36 yards, just short of the goal line. Moffey of Harvard tries to get through, but is hit hard. Tradition and excitement go hand in hand as Roche gets away and Harvard triumphs 20-7.
Bend with Purdue leading 13-12. Notre Dame's John Pinelli recovered Punzel's partially blocked kick and raced 70 yards to the promised land, putting the Fighting Irish out in front 18-13 in a free-scoring thriller-diller. Leading 21-13, Notre Dame's quarterback, Frank Tripucka, faded back and flipped a 14-yard pass to Bill Gay, but the Irish drive stalled. In the closing minutes of play, Zimajewski of Notre Dame stole Bob DeMoss's pass for another Irish touchdown. With the final seconds ticking off and trailing 28-20, the Boilermakers of Purdue fought on desperately, picking up 35 yards on a pass interference ruling, which set them up in dangerous scoring position. Purdue scored, but Notre Dame won 28-27. Opening strong against the Texas Longhorns, North Carolina scored as Charlie Justice passed to end Art Williams. Continuing the attack, Carolina's Jose Rogers handed off to Bill Flamish, who gained 13 yards. Setting up another scoring threat by way of the air lanes, Choo-Choo Charlie Justice passed to Big Bill Weiner. On the succeeding play, Justice flipped another aerial to Bob Cox for the TD. Flashing the form that won him All-American selection, Justice ripped off a 7-yard gain. Hayes tallied, and the Tar Heels upset the Longhorns 34-7. At Champaign, with West Point leading Illinois 7-0, All-American Bobby Stewart set up the Army in position for a second score with a brilliant 58-yard run. Army's Gil Stevenson plunged through the Illini line 11 yards for a touchdown, making it West Point 14, Illinois nothing. Continuing the pulverizing ground attack, Cadet Winfield Scott swept his end and scampered 72 yards before being overtaken by the Illini secondary and knocked out of bounds on the 6-yard line. Buchan of the Army bucked over for another score. Fighting back grimly, Illinois took to the air as Kruger faded back, found his receiver, and passed to Kasulis for a touchdown. But the final score was Army 26, Illinois 21. On hand at Yankee Stadium for the intersectional game between the Black Knights of West Point and the Stanford Indians from California were General and Mrs. Ike Eisenhower. Here, too, is General Maxwell Taylor, superintendent of the Academy, with Mrs. Taylor. The future generals took the field in quest of their 7th consecutive victory this season. With overwhelming power, Army opened up the red-shirted line of Stanford for Gil Stevenson, who galloped 45 yards to the Indians' 10-yard line. Stevenson bucked over for the first Army touchdown. The West Point quarterback, Galiffa, faded back and passed to right end Parrish, who picked up considerable yardage before being hauled down from behind. On another pass attempt, Galiffa let fly a long heave into the end zone, but overshot his intended receiver, much to the dismay of the Army mule. Again taking to the airwaves, Galiffa tossed to Bobby Jack Stewart, who gained 17 yards. On a reverse, Stewart skirted his left end for another touchdown as West Point crushed Stanford. At South Bend in the opening period, Notre Dame staged a sustained march as Pinelli gained 10 yards against the Northwestern Wildcats. Right end Leon Hart picked up 11 yards on a deceptive end-around play. Pep Pinelli bucked over for the touchdown, and the Fighting Irish led 6-0. Now watch this play as the ball seems to turn into a hot potato with everybody getting into the act. Tripucka's pass was finally snared by Zurovlev of Northwestern, but then he fumbled and Notre Dame finally recovered. This time the Irish weren't so lucky as Tom Worthington intercepted Tripucka's pass and returned the ball 5 yards before slipping out of bounds. But it was tit for tat as Don Burson's pass for Northwestern was intercepted by Bill Gay of Notre Dame. As the third period ended, Tripucka again faded back and shot an aerial, which was intercepted by Murakowski of Northwestern on his own 8-yard line. On a brilliant run back of 92 yards, Murakowski scored a touchdown and put the Wildcats out in front 7-6. And now, with seconds of play remaining, it looked like the end of Coach Frank Leahy's victory streak. But Landry gained 11 yards for the Irish through center. And then Bill Gay smashed over a moment later to score, and Notre Dame won 12-7.
The first touchdown for Army comes when Fahlberg goes over with Galiffa's pass. A few minutes later, Army Field General Galiffa heaves a 35-foot pass to Jim Kane, and he takes it for 45 yards and 6 more points for Army. Another touchdown in the making as Kane raises Kane with the Lions. There's Galiffa passing again, and Kane scores once more. Columbia gets a break. Tracy's pass is deflected into Ward's hands, and the Lions roar. From the 17, Tracy passes again, and this time Ben Bellingham takes it and goes over for Columbia. Then Columbia has to kick off to Army. And you guessed it, Army's safety man is Jim Kane. He's already accounted for 3 touchdowns with number 4 coming up. 63-6 for Army. Early in this game, the Irish really get tough, with Bob Williams telling Larry Coutre to see what's cooking. So Larry steams up and cooks plenty. In the first 15 minutes of play, the Irish roll up 27 points. This time, Williams is passing to Whitekin, and he almost makes it. There goes Coutre, making it official. Tulane comes to life, and watch this. Bonar to Sheffield, and it's a grand play that brings up the hopes of Tulane. But Notre Dame is not to be denied. Spaniel takes it, and the Irish win 46-7. We're in Dudley Field, and Arkansas kicks to Vanderbilt, and there's action from the start as Nally gets going and is nearly knocked down by a teammate. There are plenty of Commodore fans on hand to cheer Nally on. But the Razorbacks from Arkansas are on their toes. Wade of Vanderbilt spots his man. He thinks, but Captain Duke of Arkansas grabs it at the goal line. Now the Porkers set out to bring home the bacon. Gino Mazzanti, a substitute fullback, breaks loose for the thrill play of the afternoon. 77 yards through the favored Vanderbilt team. Now on a 4th down, the Razorbacks hammer away and chalk up the close win of 7-6. By Bill DeYoung, the big 200-pounder from Ontario, California, the visitors from Palo Alto completely dominate the play. From the 8, Boyd Benson, the native Washingtonian, scores the first goal against the Huskies. Now the Indians whoop it up. Kokori and Telasco to Andrews for a razzle-dazzle that stuns the Huskies. But they fight back and trap Andrews as he tries to skirt the Washington flank. Here comes a pass. Krikorian dropping one into the arms of big Bill McCall for 6 more points. Then Stanford's Bob White gets the assignment, and there's another touchdown coming up. But that's not all. Bud Klein wants to put the game well in the bag for Stanford, and does. There are plenty of midshipmen on hand, and Emil Sitko is here too with a few more Notre Dame gritters. There's Bob Williams passing to Ernie Zaleski, Notre Dame's mystery man, who celebrates his first real assignment with a touchdown. There's Larry Coutre, fast-stepping back on Coach Leahy's team, going 91 yards for the most spectacular run of the game. Sitko again, and he bangs his way across for another tally. But the Middies fight hard and stick to the slogan, never give up the ship or the game. Williams again, and again to Zaleski. He tallies 3 times for the Irish. Now John Landry scores, and it's Notre Dame all the way. The Boston Yanks put on quite a show against their ancient rivals, Clemson. There's the Eagles' Al Canava trying to get out of trouble. It's a razzle-dazzle with Canava hitting all points of the compass. Boston on the march. Songen way out. Laterals to Batella for a nice play, and in less than a minute after this play, Boston scores. But Dixie says, look at this. Calvert lets go to Cone, and he starts moving. Clemson fans go wild about this one. A Boston pass takes a detour, and Calvert heads for the goal line. But this time, Boston is top. Songen tosses to Rourke, and that spells victory for the boys from Beantown. The Californians begin to click as Solari of the Golden Bears passes to Ward. It's a goal as Big Jim Menachino jams his way through. With the score 7-7, Johnson of the Bruins passes. It's a neat catch by Wilkinson, who heads for pay dirt. With Wilkinson's touchdown, UCLA forges into the lead, but can't hold it as the superior strength of the Bears tells in the second half tally. Here's Solari doing a bang-up job. He tosses one to Brunk as the Golden Bears roll on to victory. There goes Levi Jackson, the Eli speedy Negro captain, chalking up a first down. From the 35, it's Jackson again, and he really goes through. Here comes first blood for Yale in this 66th meeting of the traditional rivals. Here's Bobby Raines pouring it on. And also Ferd Nadherney, another sparkling backfield star in the last game of his football career. In the second quarter, Stu Tisdale pitches one to Jackson in the end zone, and it counts for 6 more points. Now watch this boy Raines turn on the heat. He goes 45 yards deep into Harvard territory. They stop Raines, but there's no stopping Eli. Nadherney bangs across, and Yale wins 29-6.
Notre Dame-Michigan State game at East Lansing. Leading 14-7 in the second half, the Irish send quarterback Bob Williams on a bootleg play. A dazzling 40-yard gallop for the touchdown. A fumble in the Notre Dame backfield, but Williams picks it up to gain ground around end. Emil Sitko with the ball. He stampedes all the way for another tally. 27-7, and the floodgates are open. Williams passes to Bill Whitekin for 10. The next one goes for the distance. Williams to Hart, and the Irish have 34 points. In the
dying moments, Gene Glick of Michigan State throws a desperation pass. It connects with Bob Carey for 38 yards. The last heave is good too, but the touchdown comes too late. Notre Dame wallops Michigan State 34-21. North Carolina State trails North Carolina 6-0 at Chapel Hill. Bill Thompson of State, chased to the sidelines, lobs a running aerial to Tony Ramanowski for 21 yards. Paul Bruno's handoff to Paul Dinan clicks for 16 more. State really pressing the Tar Heels now. Tailback Bill Thompson lugs it over for State. Now they're only a point behind, 7-6. And just as the tension gets unbearable, a dog strays on the field. But he doesn't stop Billy Hayes of the Tar Heels, who crashes for 12 yards. Mike Carver, subbing for All-America Choo Choo Justice, connects with Ken Powell as North Carolina fights for a score. Just as they begin to move, Hayes fumbles. Watch the scramble. State recovers. Vic Kaiser carrying for the Staters through the middle for 9. But they're held later. Kaiser has to punt, and he gets away a beauty. Charlie Justice takes it. His reverse fools everyone, including the cameraman. Skeet Hesmer has the ball on a brilliant 85-yard sprint for a touchdown. North Carolina beats State 26-6. Arnold Galiffa of Army passing against Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. It's complete to Dan Fulberg for 12 yards. The Cadets trail 6-0. Speedster Jim Kane around the flank. Here comes the tying touchdown. After Army tallies again, Penn fights back. Reds Bagnell throws to Harry Wetlaufer to the 10. Another Quaker aerial. Bagnell to Warren Horton. A score. But the West Pointers are still on top by 1 point. Penn driving in the final seconds. Bob Duber skirts the end. Stopped 10 yards away from pay dirt. A Penn field goal attempt. A furiously charging Army line blocks it to avert the upset of the season. The Cadets win a squeaker 14-13. Highly rated Tulane met Georgia Tech early in the season at New Orleans before a sellout crowd. Tulane's publicized fullback Eddie Price rips through the yellow jacket line. George Kinnick carrying this time for a 14-yard gain. Quarterback Joe Ernest fading for a long pass. A miraculous catch by Kinnick, and it's a touchdown. What a play. Jimmy Southard trying to throw Tech back into the game. But it's intercepted by Bob Jones, who races upfield to the 43. Tulane hanging on to a 6-point edge. In the fourth quarter, they're moving for the crusher. Price rams through, a step away from pay dirt. Ernst on a quarterback sneak, but Tech's forward wall holds. No score. Bill Svoboda taking his crack now. Into the pile-up and over. Tulane goes on to win 18-0. In Philadelphia, Penn and Cornell meet for the Ivy League title as 75,000 watch the Turkey Day Classic. Penn's Ray Dooney is shaken into the clear, 40 yards to the 7. Dooney again, a buck into the middle. He's over. The Quakers ahead, 7-0. After Cornell ties it up, Penn goes for more. Reds Bagnell nearly smeared. Then he gets his pass away. Harry Wetlaufer has it in the end zone for the tally. Behind by 8 points, Cornell sends Jeff Fleischman wide. Watch him sidestep 3 tacklers to score. 21-19 thriller now. Bagnell trying to ice it for Penn. But it's plucked out of the air by Charlie Taylor, who races back to the 30. Can Cornell catch up? Here's their last chance. 4th down, Lynn Dorsett throwing. Dick Chamberlain makes the catch and steps over. A dying gasp rally by Cornell beats Penn for the Ivy Crown, 29-21. Bob Williams of Notre Dame launches a pass against Southern California at South Bend, caught by Heisman Trophy winner Leon Hart, who scores for the Irish. See him leave that tackler behind. Now the Pacific Coast boys have Jim Powers passing. Watch the Notre Dame defense. John Pettibon intercepts, dances along the sidelines, and scores. The Fighting Irish tally 13 points in 90 seconds. The rout continues in the second half. Frank Spaniel gets loose for 50 yards. Ernie Zaleski powers for 9 more. Bill Barrett scores as Notre Dame massacres Southern Cal 32-0. 102,000 in Philadelphia's Municipal Stadium for the game of games, the Army-Navy battle. Arnold Galiffa of the Cadets fading for a pass. Can't find a receiver, puts his head down, and he runs. 13-yard gain on that one. Now he's back again. This time it's a toss, complete to Frank Fischel to the 11. Power play in the making. Gil Stevenson bulls across as Army starts a parade of touchdowns. Stevenson high-stepping again. He'll get to the 28. Galiffa ending his career in a blaze of glory. He cocks his arm, a perfect shot to Dan Folberg, who's caught a stride away from pay dirt. Fullback Stevenson takes it the rest of the way. It's 31-0. After Coach Red Blake clears the bench, Herb Johnson goes to the 2 for the Cadets. Johnson scores. Army sinks Navy 38-0.